What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, we'll be previewing Richard Childress Racing as we head into the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series season. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. Richard Childress Racing will have some pretty big changes heading into 2023. Let's go ahead and discuss them. Let's begin by talking about the driver who will be turning to Richard Childress Racing, Austin Dillon. Austin, of course, will be driving a 3-car once again in 2023. But there are changes that are coming for Austin Dillon in 2023, as Austin Dillon will not have Justin Alexander as a crew chief in 2023. Instead, Keith Rodden, who's working at Hendrick Motorsports as an engineer, basically working at Hendrick Motorsports in the Chevy group for the last few years, he will be returning to be a crew chief for the first time since 2017 when he crew chief for Casey Kane and will crew chief for Austin Dillon. Not sure how to feel about Keith Rodden. Is he a veteran of the Cup Series? Yes, absolutely. And I think he does have some experience with the next-gen cars. But this could be somewhat of a disadvantage for Austin Dillon. I'm a little bit skeptical of Keith Rodden going into this season. That being said, though, I think Keith Rodden's a decent crew chief. He's not a great crew chief by any stretch of imagination, but I do think Keith Rodden's a decent crew chief, and hopefully he'll be able to help out Austin Dillon have some really, really strong runs. Now, let's talk about Austin Dillon's 2022 season as a whole. Austin Dillon actually had a pretty solid year despite Tyler Reddick performing better than Austin Dillon in 2022. Austin Dillon got a win in 2022 at Daytona. Granted, there was some controversy around that Daytona race where a bunch of cars got taken out, and Austin Dillon basically had a car that was clean and didn't have any damage on his car. But you got to sometimes survive the circumstances, and Austin Dillon did have some good performances. You go back to Martinsville in the spring where he's running top 5 pretty much all race long and had a great run in that race. Now, for Austin Dillon going into the 2023 season, the big goal for him is going to be learning how to be a little more consistent. Austin Dillon does have some decent, consistent runs, but I think the goal for him is to be more consistent and try to be a little closer to being up front in victory lane. Many weeks, Austin Dillon tends to run about 11th to 15th, and I'd like to see Austin Dillon run around the 6th to 10th range most of the season, and I'd like to see Austin Dillon try to go out there and win. Now, his expectation to me, I don't see Austin Dillon winning in 2023. Now, I do think he's going to do solid, don't get me wrong. I just don't trust Austin Dillon to be like a playoff contender. I think he missed the playoffs, unfortunately, in 2023. Though I do think he may run a little bit better on the average finish. I just think you're going to have to win a race to make the playoffs, and I don't trust Austin Dillon to make the playoffs, so I don't think he'll make the playoffs in 2023. That being said, though, Austin Dillon's a driver I think as we get far down the road, and the longer he stays, I think he's going to get better. We know his contract's through 2025, so he's got 3 more seasons to really prove himself, and it wouldn't surprise me or shock me even in 2023 or even in 2024. He gets a long-term contract extension like 2027 or 2028. So we'll see what Austin Dillon can do in 2023, and he'll be returning to the 3-car next season. The other driver that'll be driving for Richard Childress Racing is a new driver. Kyle Busch, who's been driving for Joe Gibbs Racing for the last 15 seasons, will be jumping away from Joe Gibbs Racing and will join Richard Childress Racing in 2023 and will drive the A car. He will have Randall Burnett as a crew chief, who's been a crew chief for Tyler Reddick since Tyler Reddick joined Richard Childress Racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2019. Now, one of the big questions that ran around Kyle Busch is what sponsors is Kyle Busch going to have? He's, of course, going to have Lenovo. That's been confirmed that Lenovo will sponsor Kyle Busch in 2023. There's a lot of rumors that Cheddar's could also sponsor Kyle Busch in 2023. But there's also a lot of talk and possibility that we may see other companies like Sling TV and also potentially Hot Wheels could sponsor Kyle Busch in 2023. We've seen some good concepts from people like Noah Sweet, also known as Lefty Designs. We've seen some really awesome concepts from him and other people that have shown concepts like Reese's. So those could be potential sponsors for Kyle Busch. Now, going back and talking about Randall Burnett, Kyle Busch is going to have an amazing crew chief to work with. I think Randall Burnett is one of truly the most underrated crew chiefs in NASCAR currently at the moment. That dude can get the best out of equipment as a crew chief, and I think a big reason why Tyler Reddick really succeeded at Richard Childress Racing is because of Randall Burnett being there to be assistant to him. And I think that combination of Reddick and Burnett worked well. I think that same combination is going to work together extremely well because I think Randall Burnett's a really good crew chief, and I think that communication is going to work out very, very well. Let's talk about expectations for Kyle Busch heading into 2023. I know a lot of people are going to have their doubts because Richard Childress Racing to a lot of people seems like it's going to be a downgrade. I don't really think so. I think this 8-car right now at this particular moment is better than the 18 car, or I should say the 54 car heading into 2023. Tyler Reddick did an incredible job in this car in 2022, got 3 wins for the organization, and unfortunately got eliminated in the round of 16, but he did a great job and would have been a championship 4 contender. I think Kyle Busch is really going to have a big year with Richard Childress Racing next season. I think he's going to have a pretty big comeback year. I think in 2023, he will have his best year as a driver in this series since 2019 when he went on to win his championship, or 2018. Now, I think Kyle Busch will get around 2 or 3 wins, but he's going to be extremely consistent. I think Kyle Busch will have around a 7th-10th place run for a majority of the season, and I think he will have a very good chance and a very good shot of making the championship 4. If there's anybody who can get the best out of Clement, it's Kyle Busch. And I remember back in 2007 going to 08 when a lot of people were skeptical of Kyle Busch leaving Hendrick Motorsports, which at the time was the best organization in 2007, where they won like 18 or 19 races in the season, and jumped away from that organization and went over to join Joe Gibbs because that 18 car struggled for a very, very long time. But then Kyle Busch goes over to Joe Gibbs Racing, and in the first year with JGR, goes on to win 8 races and nearly wins double-digit races and outperforms for most of the season Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin. I think that Kyle Busch is going to do the same thing. I think he's going to be a great person that can work with Austin Dillon, will help Austin Dillon out quite a bit next year, and I really believe that Kyle Busch is going to be a legitimate championship threat in that number 8 car next season. So, for a Kyle Busch fan, you got a lot to be excited for going into next season, and there's a lot of great things going on for Kyle Busch heading into next year in the 8 car. A lot of exciting times, and I think Kyle Busch will be a championship threat. Also, Kyle Busch Motorsports, of course, they're going to be jumping over to basically be, KBM will be basically jumping over to Chevy, and it will have an RCR alliance as well, which I think will be very, very massive, and have those ECR engines, which I think is going to be really, really huge. Now let's talk about some other stuff from Richard Childress Racing. There's a lot of talk and conversation that there could be potentially a 3rd car for Richard Childress Racing in 2023. Remember, in 2022, we saw a 33 car make a run in 2022 with Austin Hill, who made his NASCAR Cup Series debut. Now, it's possible that Austin Hill could make some Cup starts with RCR, but the big thing is that Austin Hill is actually going to run, I think, 7 or 8 races with Beard Motorsports next season. So I'm not sure if Austin Hill is going to run a 3rd RCR car. It's very possible that they could, but we'll have to wait and see because there's rumors that there could be a 3rd car. Maybe Sheldon Creed gets some select starts in that 3rd car, which would make a lot of sense. Sheldon Creed's a driver I'm expecting major improvements in the NASCAR Xfinity Series team in 2023, but I will have to wait and see what happens there. Other things about Rich Childress Racing, I think if you're a Rich Childress Racing fan, with Kyle Busch coming over to the team, you've got to be really, really excited. RCR has not really had a lot of drivers over the years that have really shown that championship caliber mentality, other than guys like Kevin Hart in the last years, other than Tyler Reddick and Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch is going to be a massive asset to Rich Childress Racing over the years, and I would not be shocked and surprised in the next 4 or 5 years if we see Rich Childress Racing win a championship. And I think there is a very strong possibility going into 2025 or 26, we could be having legitimate conversations about Kyle Busch having more wins than Dale Sr. I think Kyle Busch's ultimate goal before he ends his career is, of course, win a Daytona 500, which would be pretty incredible if he was able to win his 19th or 20th Daytona in his 19th or 20th try. It'd be pretty cool if he basically can do that in 2023 or 2024. His first year with RCR, that would be pretty cool. But when I look at Kyle Busch going into 2023 and RCR, I think that this team is going to win some races, mainly with Kyle Busch, of course, but who knows at this particular point. But if you're a Rich Childress Racing fan, you really got to be excited for the future because they lost Tyler Reddick, who, of course, he's going to 2311 Racing, taking over for Kurt Busch next year. Of course, he's taking a 45 car. He'll have Bubba Wallace as a teammate next season, which I think that pairing together and that combination of Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick together, I really think is going to gel very perfectly and work out really, really well. I think both parties have really ended up on a right footing. Of course, Reddick going over 2311, which I think that organization's headed toward a bright future. And I think Rich Childress Racing is really kind of headed toward a very similar future as well. A lot of good things going on for sure, and a lot of excitement around Rich Childress Racing heading into the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series season. So anyway, that is today's NASCAR team preview video for Richard Childress Racing. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, notifications on, and notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links are below over to that, and comment below your thoughts on today's video. What are your expectations of Richard Childress Racing heading into the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series season? Let me know in the comments below. Tomorrow on my channel, I'm not sure what's going to be coming out on the channel. It might be the 2023 Cup Series predictions, but we'll have to wait and see. And then on Thursday, of course, is going to be the Thanksgiving Q&A that's going to be dropping on the channel. I have a video for you guys to go check out and make sure you do answer some questions. I'll probably share that video once again so you guys can go ahead and answer questions. And then Friday, not sure what's coming out. We'll have a lot of our content on the way. I do have a Daytona 500 intros video that's coming out very soon as well. And then obviously the big announcement, which hopefully will be coming in the not so distant future, that I hopefully will be able to share with you guys really, really soon. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.